has begun.
It has begun indeed. So, uh, well, let's just delve right into it as I up the audio for this music. Do that now.
So here's a good first question. How long has it been
Since like you were on
since
the bridge.
we were teleported?
Oh no, this is like right after. This is like right after. Oh, they mean like teleported back or teleported like into?
Yeah, so we like teleported, popped in, and got our stuff stolen.
Well, your stuff's still in. I said everyone. So, from an out of game sense, probably like from you guys stepping onto like you guys crossing the literal point of no return. Um, it's probably been like 45 minutes. Yeah, something like that. From you regaining consciousness, it's like right now. Like, boop.
Okay. Alright. That thief works fast.
I will say that he has been following you. So, as I open my own notes, you, my friends, are, as previously described, in a tarnished, tethered ruin. There's, not claw marks, nail marks here and there. Padded room with a large iron gate. And you actually come through, or come to, as you hear it close, shut. And as your eyes move to gaze at the door, you see a semi-familiar, glowy two yellow eyes peering at you through the small peep grate. It's a weird word to say. Marshall, I imagine Marshall's pretty accustomed to the weight of his armaments, and you can feel that weight balance is disturbed. And you'll also hear the familiar. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Metal jangling of the thieving little creature. It doesn't laugh or anything. It just sort of watches you as you like are pushing yourself up, and then you hear it drop itself, like let go of the little grates of the people, and then its little stubby legs hit the ground and begins pattering off.
Okay.
You are alone.
Okay. I checked to see what I do have on.
You have most of your equipment on you. You're missing only a few things. You are missing the Sword of Warning. You're missing the Scalekeeper's Balance. You're missing your Champion's Reign. Your Black Staff. As well as 2 of your cures. Which I will now change in the handout.
Okay. So he reached his neck. Do you still have the necklace?
You still have your necklace. That was not pilfered off you.
But he has 1 cure.
You have 1 cure.
Oof.
You are locked in the room. And there doesn't seem to be like a... It's a pretty cleanly designed... Weirdly enough. Cleanly designed room. It's very bland, basic, and it doesn't really have an air vent. More like just air hole. Like pipes. Like several of them. But I don't know. A 2-inch diameter.
Okay. Huh. Any windows?
No windows. You can tell from the steps you take that you are above. You're not on the ground floor. As you begin sort of looking around the room.
Mm-hmm. All right. Roof, is that also padded?
I'm sorry? The roof?
Is the roof also padded?
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Let's see. Roof's padded. All right. I guess I'll check the door and see how sturdy it is.
You go over to the door and grab. Like. It's less of a handle, like a turntable handle, more so than like a bar. It seems very sturdily built. Stalwart iron. Not terribly rusted or decrepit or anything. And obviously it is locked, as crazy rooms tend to be from the inside.
Okay. All right. Well, first off,
First off.
let's let's do something smart before I forget.
Okay. Which is. Yeah, yeah. That would be wise.
All right. Now, gonna knock on the door and call out and see. Hello, is anyone there?
So you and just sort of the peep grate is open. It's not terribly large. It's about where's my tape measure? It's about 8 inches. It's like an 8-inch square.
8 inch square. How tall?
8 inches because it's a square.
Oh, duh. You're right. Oh,
And it
okay,
has like
so
metal bars going in between. You can still it's the grate hole is not covered by the little latch, I guess. Whatever. You can see through it, and as you're shouting out, looking through this literal grated grate. You see similar rooms across from you to the side and such like that. And you call out if anyone's there. You hear some stirring coming from somewhere else down the hall.
Okay, can I tell if it's my left or right?
It would be to your right.
All right, cool. I'm gonna pull out one of my daggers and put it through there to look and see if I can see where the noise is coming from.
So you're sort of like using the mirror of it, like reflective surface of it.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of peek through, and the style of the hallway sort of transitions past a certain point. It goes from very sterile, I guess, would probably be the best word. Sterile, sleek design, and then back to some normal carpeting, woodwork, stuff that you're more accustomed to. And you see that the noise is coming from on that archetype down the hallway to your right. Coming from one of the rooms, it has an open door. Slightly, not fully open, it's like a jar. You hear like movement, some metallic clattering.
But no response.
But no response.
And the door's open?
It's not fully open. It's a jar.
So that creature's down there robbing someone.
The creature went left, from what you
Oh.
heard, if it's pattering.
And that's the only response I hear.
On this floor, yes. You hear general shifting across the building. You can you hear like rumbles coming from underneath you, but those don't seem to pick up or decrease in response to you.
Okay. All right. Pulls his knife back in, then sort of wanders around for a second, thinking. Just focuses himself, and then goes to the wall and starts cutting the padding off to see what's underneath.
Begin shredding through the padding, or revealing rather the basically cotton and some wool padding material, insulation. As you begin tearing that out of the wall and such, you're met by a brick wall.
Brick. Okay. All right. Knock on it. Is that on solid all the way through, or does it sound like cinder block?
It sounds like cinder block.
Okay. All right. All right. Goes back to the door and looks down the hall both left and right to see if there's any doors open on his side.
On your like sleek side, you look around and it seems like the rest of the doors are closed as well.
Huh. So none of the doors on like his side of the hallway are open.
No.
Hmm. Would it be possible, maybe with like a perception check or something, to see if they're locked?
If the other doors are locked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Roll me perception. 18, nice. Pretty good for a +1.
I'll take it.
It seems that you're sort of trying to see just from the way there are handles on the outside, like actual turnable handles. On the inside, not so much. And from the way that all the other ones are positioned, like they're not fully cocked up, so to indicate that they're fully locked. So it seems that the rest of them are actually unlocked.
All right.
It's just yours that's locked.
Plan is formulating. All right.
Gotcha.
What he's gonna do is on the side of the wall where that faces the door. Or is the door like central, or is it to one side?
It's to one side.
Okay, so on the more open side, away from the door, he's gonna start cutting that padding off.
All right. Doesn't take that long, just a few minutes. We're gonna get all of the insulation. Met by a similar wall.
Okay. Then, could he just do it that way? No, that'd be too obvious. Okay. So I'm going to. Let's see. What do I have available? Oh, I guess that'll work. All right. So he's gonna sort of take a pit, like a pitten.
A pitten, okay.
And like cut out the padding on the wall to his right of him, where to the right you said is where the doors look unlocked.
Yeah.
All right. And he cut enough of that to slide through, take the pitten, and then wrap the cotton around it, and then wrap the cotton around his hammer as well.
Okay.
That way it has a nice soft cushion. Start trying to chisel through.
Oh, you're trying to muffle it, so to speak.
Basically, yes.
Roll me your athletics. It's not a matter of whether or not you can do it, it's a matter of how quickly you do it. Pretty solid, pretty solid. Another 18. Pretty solid accurately described this wall, but luckily, given some time, probably... How big of a hole are you trying to make, actually? Are you just trying to make one that you could barely squeeze out through, or are you trying to make like a full, like, easy access hole?
Just enough that he can get through.
Okay. Then yeah, over the course of like probably like 20 or so minutes, as soon as you manage to peek through like through one central spot that you've been working at, you begin seeing that the other side light begin peeking through. It's much easier, and you just begin.
Okay. That's... All right. Then he's just gonna try to, as he goes through. I mean, assuming he's able to.
Yeah.
Just sort of like tie back up enough cotton to make it look
Oh,
close enough, like it's still there.
So it looks as if on from the outside,
Yes.
as if like, oh, it's broken on this way, but not on the inside, right?
Yeah. So it would take more than just a glance to see that's how he got out.
Gotcha. Camouflage work, urban camouflage work is not necessarily the strongest suit. So roll me your survival. This is actually a form of camouflage. Weirdly enough. So many 18s.
Your boy with the 18s.
With the 18s. Yeah. So as you emerge out into the hallway itself, you begin sort of leaning back through the crackling you made that you shimmied out through and begin sort of weaving these side bits of cotton. So it looks like it's not. It doesn't scream, "Hey, this is how he got out," and you successfully do that.
All right, cool. Yeah, and on the other side, I try to make it look somewhat similar.
Begin like grabbing. There's some assorted not obstacles. That's not the items, objects around.
Ooh, okay.
Like gurneys, wheelchairs, and stuff that you just begin sort of moving near it to sort of cover some parts of it as best you can. Lean a gurney against the wall, essentially, after collapsing it.
Totally. Yeah, that works perfectly. Just enough that it's not obvious at first glance.
Yeah. As you've, it doesn't take that long to collapse a gurney and lean against the wall. But as, you finish doing that, you hear from, down that right side, which I guess would be your left now, you know what I mean. Down that way, you hear a clatter, like a loud sound of something heavy hitting the ground. As Marshall, you're pretty familiar with it. It sounds like the weight of a person hitting the ground. And you see rolling out of that one room that was ajar, like just some vials here and there. Empty. Like little beakers, essentially.
But I don't see anyone like that made the noise.
You don't see anyone that made the noise, but you do hear someone groaning, like, ugh.
Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll just kind of like peek out into the hallway to make sure it's clear.
Straight shot both ways, you don't see anything.
Alright, yeah, then quietly try to make his way over that way. Like checking each cell along the way to make sure there's no one in there.
Yeah, so you peek into through their respective peep grates, and it's immensely dark, but it doesn't seem that there is anyone populating these other rooms as you pass by them. Luckily, or unluckily, depends on your disposition. So you eventually cross the sort of threshold where it just flat transitions from surgical area to office area, so to speak. And you take a peek through the ajar door, and you see sort of splayed out on the ground, well, one of the seekers you came in with. And he's like struggling to right himself up. Like as he tries to push himself up, you see his arms like shake.
Alright, is the door open?
The door is open, yeah. It's ajar.
Alright, I go in and put my hand over his mouth. Just give him the symbol.
He nods slowly. Under your grip.
And I'll let it go and help him up.
You ride him, get him to stand up straight. He's a bit wobbly, but he eventually sort of regains his balance and composure. Holds a hand up to his head, just sort of rubbing his forehead. Thanks for that.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I am missing some objects. Do you have all of yours?
He begins like patting himself down. Let's see. It's a long sword, bow. Checks his quiver. Pulls like a couple of them out. You see like they're magically inclined arrowheads. All my arrows. Yeah. You feel him pat his like neck area, and he just looks at you, eyes open, like shock wide open. I don't have the mantle.
It's okay. Do you have any here?
Yeah, I tucked it away, and he whips off his backpack. So I got these ones, and he pats one, pats like a chest pocket. Emergency one here. Yeah, I got all mine still.
Okay, it appears you're in better shape than me. I only have one left.
He holds one. He holds out the one in his chest pocket to you.
I think we can make a trade here. Take that and take off the necklace.
Oh, you put the mantle swap with him?
Yeah. You are much less likely to get this broken than I am.
I wonder if I'm already infected though. And he says as he's pulling out the one in his pack, the cure he has in his pack. I sort of don't want to waste this right now.
Do not waste it. We will know if you are infected. You know the signs to look for, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Check yourself over. I will make sure the coast is still clear. Get ready to go.
Nothing to check right now. He begins doing basically like a gear check on all of his stuff.
Yeah, just making sure like he doesn't have any marks of infection on him is what I was indicating.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have any, as of right now, he doesn't have any growths or sort of black veins or anything. He seems fine. Thanks for that. He says he's like slipping his pack back on.
It's no problem, but we have work to do.
Yeah.
Also gonna hit him with a rally.
Okay. I will note this in my notebook. Another 6. Another 6.
We rolled 2 numbers today.
I mean, if you rolled an 18 on a roll, I think something would be up, personally. And if you rolled a 6 on your rolls, then shit.
I would not be hype.
I would not be hype. Where are we?
I believe we are in the cradle.
Okay.
Whatever that little thing that we saw before, it seems to have followed us here.
You saw it?
Yes, sir. Right as I woke up.
I didn't see anything. I woke up, and he points at the room that you guys are in right now. Is sort of like a dentist's office. Like there's like that lean back chair that he seems to have been perched up on, and promptly rolled out of and knocked over like a little operating tray, a rolling tray. It's all scattered on the ground. I didn't see it. Got my blessings.
Do you remember anything?
I remember us walking by that river. And then you sort of... he does like a throwing motion. Yeah. And then you broke the wall, stepped in. Yeah.
So you went through the wall and not in the sky?
I went through the wall.
Ah, okay. Good to know. What is your name, friend?
Janik. And he holds out a hand.
Good to meet you. Marsh military is a military is the marsh.
Hell of a name.
Alright, Janik. How about we go find your friends?
I will type you his name in case you need it. There you
Oof, almost. I
It's
went
this.
EK.
Ah. Yeah, pretty close. You got the phonetics right. That's the important bit. I think that's a sound plan.
And I have a feeling that you as a seeker would be more likely to find whatever we are looking for than me.
What are we looking for exactly?
Well, 4 seekers, 2 captains, and my friends.
5 seekers.
But there were 6 total.
There are 7 total.
Oh.
2 seeker captains and 5 seekers.
Yeah, and I found 1.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. I thought you meant like in total. My bad. Disregard what I said.
No, friend, I think you've hit your head too hard.
Yeah, maybe. Solid floor.
Alright. So I heard before me something above us, right?
You heard something below you.
Below me. Okay. Alright, Seeker Janik. I say we check the rest of this room, or the rest of this floor. If not, I did hear something below us when I first woke up.
Great. Well, he sort of looks around. If there's something below us, I'd sort of like a window. Find out how high up we are.
I could make one, if it helps.
Let's... The Cradle isn't that destitute. We should be able to find one. Cuts down.
Okay. Well, I have a good idea. I'll take my halberd.
Your halberd?
And poke the roof.
Oh, you're trying to like literally stab a hole into the ceiling?
Not break through it, but hear if it sounds like there's a floor above. If it's hollow or if it sounds like a roof.
Okay, so you... It seems more solid than the ground below you, so you assume you're on the top floor. What was that for?
Well, my friend, I think we're on the top floor.
He gives you a look, but he just decides to trust your judgment. Fair enough. Question is, though, how many floors are below us? I don't think any of the main buildings of the Cradle were only 2 floors.
Do you know how many floors the other ones had?
Well, I don't know where we are, so I don't know which other ones there are. All of them had at least 3, some going up to 5, I think. Tall stuff.
Okay, so we know here are at least 3, maybe 5.
Maybe more.
Alright. Well, it doesn't matter now.
Indeed. You said you saw that creature, right?
Yes.
And it stole some of her stuff?
Ah, yes, a couple cures and some of my favorite weapons.
The weapons are definitely valuable, and so is the cure. If we can, we should try tracking it while we're looking.
Okay, yes, that would be a good idea. I would love to have my items back, that is for sure. But let's make sure everyone gets out of here alive instead.
Well, so far we're 2 for 2, and he wags a finger between you and him. Let's try to find
That is
people
good. Alright, so go back to the hallway.
You go back into the hallway, and... Ooh, ominous music. I like it. To your right, coming out of the doorway that led into wherever this was, it sort of makes a bend, like an L corner turn. And you look down the way that you came originally, and it seems that it has a similar... It's like a T intersection. So it goes down further as well as it goes in between, or like another place in between.
I think I'm getting what you're saying, but I'm not exactly sure.
You know what? I could just just draw stuff. Movie here. And
Flashbang.
yeah, I was about to change that. Don't you worry. Make this nice and dark. There you go. I mean, the space around it's still pretty bright, but so freehand. So this, we'll draw a little square here. This is where you originally came from. And then down the way we'll make a trapezoid. This is where you are currently. Boop boop. So going down this way, it turned into this sort of L place. This is not to scale. This left way is much further than this indicates.
Yeah,
but,
gotcha.
yeah, and then this way it has like a intersection to somewhere else. And then it has more doors that way. Or more corridor that way. And then there's like a break in between where it switches architectural style. There's a number of differently styled office doors going towards the right in, I'm gonna change color here, in this direction. I'm putting 4 just for just for indication's sake. It's not actually 4. And then to the left is just more of the holding rooms, padded rooms.
What, Zenek? Any ideas on which way you think we should go?
I mean, I'd say we should just try to find a staircase. And he looks over at the holding cells. I feel like they don't put staircases next to the rooms.
Yes, that would probably be a better thing.
Yeah. Oh no, might be worth it to make sure nothing else is up here, though.
I agree. Let us sweep the area. At least we know there's nothing coming down towards us. We only have to worry about things coming up.
Right.
So I say we go right. And since he's an NPC, he's gonna listen.
Yes. Basically. So you two begin sweeping right, opening doors. It doesn't seem that a majority of them, sans a couple, are locked. So and Janet can lockpick. Part of secret training, weirdly enough.
Gotcha. And just so we're clear, is there one of the mirrors here that shows down each hallway?
Oh, like the corner mirror that sort of lets you peek.
Mm-hmm.
There are. And it seems that going... Change color. Color change. We'll make this... I don't know, lavender color. Going down this way indicates more doors. This is really shit lavender. I should really make this more vibrant. Purple. So yeah, there's more doors going down this way. And then it actually has a... Not winding. That's not the word. Just sort of like a staircase that leads down. As well as some sort of... Not fire escape? That's not the right word. It's like... how to describe it? It's like a winding staircase that would go... It's like a winding staircase that goes up. But just has like a... What's the word? Like a dumbwaiter.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so some of that stuff come up and down. Like a cargo shaft. That's the word. Which itself has its own door.
Alright, and is any of these rooms we're passing, do they have a gurney?
A gurney?
Yes.
No, yeah. You can find those like just throughout the hallway and such.
I am going to grab one of those and keep it in front of us so people can't see us if they're on the other side of the hall.
I'm trying to wonder... So like you duck behind it as like cover, essentially, or...
Yeah, so in case we see anyone, we can walk or step behind it, and then it just looks like there's a gurney in the hallway instead of 2 people standing there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you could pick one up. And Janik... He asks this, and you provide the prompt explanation. He's like... You know, that's a really nice tactic.
This is not my first prison break, Jack.
He stops at that. He stops walking at that, gives you a look. But then he just keeps going. He catches back up to you at that afterwards. You're looking through a series of different offices. They're assorted literal offices, like Doctor So and So's office, Doctor So and So's office. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not a lounge room. That's not the word. A break room for nurses and assorted staffing. And Janek himself does take the time to look into these offices, like actually step in and just get a peek around the place.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We might find something connected to Aiden.
Right, your target. Well, like he says, it's when you guys are having this particular conversation, you're both just standing in front of like this wide wooden desk with a shit ton of like stacks of empty papers, stacks of filled papers, in files, out files, and stuff like that. And he just looks at it all. Well, might as well start searching now then.
How long do I think it would take us?
Approximately, depends. Like it's how to put this. You're basically gonna end up like blank papers are blank papers. You don't gotta give a shit about those. But like skimming over correspondence that has like obviously writing on it and such like that, you're basically gonna be skimming it for any mention of either someone of his description or his actual name.
Yeah.
And then from there, like you're not actually reading every single thing to confirm it, but maybe some things will slip through. But you like maybe not. Like if you want to save time, then that's probably what you're gonna end up doing. Is just any mention of Aiden Hughes, no, yes. If yes, put here. If no, put here. And then just really quickly. So I'd probably say it takes you for per office, it'd probably take you like 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Alright. We'll say over the course of going through the 4, we'll just say 4, because there's 4 lines there. 4 offices, 40 minutes.
Okay. And I guess do we find?
Well, now I ask you to roll investigation. Let's see if anything has slipped through your net.
Okay, and would that be with his assistance?
That would be with his assistance.
Because I got a -1.
He has a +4 if you wanted to use that.
Yeah, we should do that one.
Okay. So what is it? He rolled a 22. Or an 18 +4, so therefore 22. Whatever. I realize also you can't see the rolls because they're from me to me, so...
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's on the record. Yeah, so he got a 22. So yeah, between the two of you, looking through like patient reports, what's the word? Oh, wills, I guess. Stuff like that. You'll find between all the offices official notices saying that Aiden Hughes was visiting the Cradle, and that he would be visiting this location at this time, this location around this time, yada yada yada. It's scheduling notice essentially. So
Okay.
be on prim and proper.
So, okay. Wow, okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's like you find multiple copies of this in each office, so like once you find it again, it's sort of irrelevant because you already have a copy. But then you find sort of the specific personal things of each doctor and their own remarks to each other in their own personal reporting journals and such like that. And the general gist of it is that Aiden Hughes has, obviously he's come here, but it seems that in the past couple of weeks he has requested patients from here. Specifically, and one doctor notes this as highly suspicious or intriguing, in that he requests either the most catatonic or the most episodically violent of the patients here. So the sort of extremes of the spectrum, as it were. You also piece together which ward you're in, and Janik mentions this, that the Cradle has 4 different wards, main wards, for different afflicted people that come here. So there is an orphanage ward for kids, teens. There's a mentally insane ward, a physically crippled ward, and a mentally destitute ward. And he figures that's the one you guys are in by the particular descriptions of this. So this is the place where people who are just damaged, they're broken, they're shattered. They're not insane, they don't go out and lash out actively like insane people do. They're just sort of lost mentally. So yeah, that's what you guys learn which ward you're in, and then that Aiden Hughes had come by to acquire people, which in the reports of these doctors and some other notices made to the staff is basically trying to revive them, so to speak, sort of bring them back to reality. And the initial requests of his were allowed. So, some patients were provided to him, and then some further ones were requested, still provided. But this third time, which is reported, sort of a back and forth between two of the doctors that you guys are reading through the notes of, the journals of, details that this third request was denied, because just simply they as staff and the caretaker, which is what each doctor refers to as like their chief or head of department here at this ward, so the head doctor, I guess, they note that he just flat out denied them, or denied him, Aiden Hughes, because no results were being produced or shown if they were being produced. The doctors, and they note that their subordinate staff all have different theories, and there was even like something of a betting pool going on as to what actually happened to these patients. Some theories include that he just flat out murdered them. Others were banking on his notorious reputation as a researcher for less than humane experiments. Others were betting on that he just simply lets them go somewhere. Stuff like that. No one really got an answer, and obviously they probably never will at this point.
Well, that is all interesting to know. So, Janik,
Yeah.
do you find yourself mentally destitute?
I like to think I have a grip on reality. Maybe a bit too much.
I'm wondering why we ended up in these particular areas.
That's a good question. Oh no, right back at you. Do you think yourself mentally lost?
Quite possibly, yes.
Well, that's a good thing to know, I suppose. What do you mean?
Yes, I've only come to the recent realization that I may be living a second life, if you will.
Yeah, that sounds like being lost.
So what about you?
I honestly have no clue. I don't have some second life
Insight.
I live. Roll insight.
Alright.
Nah, it
Seems.
seems genuine. I
Hmm.
honestly have no clue. Oh,
Perhaps it is real.
yeah, maybe they scoured us. They. He looks around the place. It. Whatever.
That is another good question. But one we will not find an answer to here.
Um, I'd rather leave such matters to more wholly inclined people. I also assume, by the way, that you guys are actually taking the notes you find related to Aiden Hughes with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just make sure.
Alright, so listen to the door before we leave it. Make sure you don't hear anything outside.
You're good.
Go
No.
out.
Well,
See.
at this point, you finish sweeping through the office areas. Again, each doctor had their own office, different staff areas, storage rooms, which are in disarray. The occasional sign of overgrown infection here and there, but for the most part, this place seems pretty untouched. Uh, Taking the time to look through the cells, which honestly doesn't take that long because you just gotta look through a window. Yeah, they all seem to be empty, and there's like a few dozen on this top floor.
Okay. Alright, I would honestly just whisper something each time, like, hello, is anyone in there? Just in case anyone's hiding by the front door so they're not seen.
Yeah, no responses.
Alright. You never know, they're seekers, they're clever.
Yeah.
Alright, at the end of the hallway, does it just sort of like go back the other way?
Yeah, so this actually is something. I'll draw this. So it actually sort of loops again. So if I had to draw like a top down like of this floor, like architectural style, it'd look. I would just draw in the center here. It looks something like this.
Okay.
Like a sideways A.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, then let's go check the last areas, make sure it's all clear.
And this is like a staircase down. Seems all clear.
Alright, I guess it's time to check the next floor then.
Down we go.
2 for us, 2 people. 5 seekers, 7 captains. 4 of us. How many were there in total of us? 7, 4, 11.
I will bring us back to the main page, and then we can just count. So let's
1,
see.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So 16, yeah. 8 pairs, 16.
2, and we know that there's 3, 6, 11 floors that we know of.
Well, no, the Cradle isn't one building itself. It's a compound of buildings.
Gotcha.
So each like there's like buildings of different wards that are entirely separate from each other. as you begin descending the staircase, you see like some sort of a stained glass image of uh, it's it's a bit corrupted and overgrown by infection, but it does appear to be some sort of mind and an unlocked lock. And you hear Johnny just as you guys begin descending down the staircase. But something you do note is that, you know, it's wide enough for you to escape out of, if need be. It's in the air above the staircase, but if you need it, it's there to jump out onto the rooftop. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So wait, we'll bring it to the other one again. So yeah, so I'll draw it right next to the diagram though. So if the staircase goes down, this really shit staircase, this surface is just sort of there. Assuming the staircase goes way up. I don't know. It's a really shit staircase. It's a nice decorative element.
I point to him like, what? That is your way out if you want to take it. I would not look down on you.
I'd rather check out the place, see if we can find any more people.
Good. Now I know I'm with someone of character.
I didn't get to be where I am by being a coward. Come on.
So you say.
So I say. So you come down the staircase and are met with a similar layout. Because surprise, surprise, mental institutions aren't known for their architectural asymmetry. Met with similar architectural layout, albeit the design of it is a bit nicer, a bit less surgical, sterile, a bit more homely. This, and you hear movement in assorted places around this floor. You can just hear a sort of echoing sound bouncing off the walls that lead to, you know, the left and right corners.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to recognize the sound, I guess, get an idea of what it is.
Okay, roll me perception. This is a bit of a sort of like to pinpoint it's a bit weird. 8?
Back at him. 8.
What the heck? There's so many 18s. I don't know what to say to that.
New DCs are 19.
New DCs are 19. Yep, you stole it right from my mind. No, not really. It seems that there are sort of three, I guess 3 points, origin points of this sound. 2 of which are coming from more predominantly from the left side. 1 coming more predominantly from the right.
2 from the left, 1 from the right.
Yeah, so.
Okay, it's the similar A thing.
Yeah, it's a similar A design style.
Gotcha, and the longer ways on the left side.
Yeah.
Slightly longer, I guess.
I mean, both sides have a slightly longer passageway out, or extended out, corridor out.
Yeah, but I'm saying the overall length.
Yeah.
The left side is slightly.
Yeah.
And the sound just sounds like clatter. Does it sound like metal? Does it sound like
so
echoing or?
One from each side. So two of these sound origins, one from the left, one from the right, just sounds like footfall. Heavy, sort of lethargic. Really slow gait to it. The one other sound origin is one of breathing. Audible, quite audible breathing. It just
Okay. Is it heavy or does it sound like they're sedated?
it's heavy. It's like labored breathing.
Huh.
Coming from the left.
All right, to the left.
All right. You go begin approaching down the left turnaround corner there. Janik,
And
right?
we would do so quietly.
Roll me your stealth, as I will do something similar for your boy. I can find their damn sheet.
Not great.
That is not the AT.
You know what? Let's use inspiration on that one.
You use inspiration on it? Alright.
Yeah. In case it's 2 encounters, don't want them to become 1 encounter.
I will say Janet got a 17. Ooh.
Okay, 12 it is.
Alright, 12 it is, yeah. You're not the quietest of people despite your capacity for being light on your feet. Perhaps it's all the corruption and infection crunching underneath your step as you go, but perhaps it's just the place is just damn weird, almost alive in a different way.
It like snags the sheet or something.
Yeah. You snag on something and then you end up having to catch yourself on a gurney that's nearby and it makes a rattling noise and you're like, shit. Luckily, you know, Janet like catches it before it rattles for too long or too loudly. And then you both just sort of hold there waiting to see if any of the other noises change. They don't, from the sounds of it. And then you guys begin peeking, using that corner mirror to peek around the corner, down the hallway. You see a number of closed wooden doors. Again, this place is much more homely, much bit less surgical and the like. So there aren't gurneys or anything scattered down here towards the more living areas, I suppose. There's still some leading up, like a cargo shaft and such. But out here, it's like, you know, couches, cushions, potted plants, which don't have plants in them anymore, stuff like that. And as you peek down, you note a very familiar form in a very bad ways. You note Tala sort of leaned or sat down upon one of the these like single seat chairs, cushioned chairs, looking a bit bloodied.
Oh, crap.
Isn't that one of you guys?
It is. It appears to be injured. We need to get to her.
I mean, he looks around. Nothing's attacking her right now, so he's probably safe. You want to go retrieve her?
Unless you think it is a trap.
This is way. It might be a trap. No, these things can't be smart enough. Well, fuck. Go for it. Oh, you're back. I'll keep an eye out. He draws like this, like yellow or like dull yellow glowing arrow-tipped arrow.
Let's see. Need some weapons. Alright, yeah, so just pull out the Redallion Diplomacy and a shield.
Classic.
And sort of. Oh, you know what?
What?
How far are we away from her?
God, that's a long hallway. And you're on probably like 100 feet. If I want to throw an approximation.
Alright.
100 feet.
Um,
I'm willing to be fluid on that distance, to be perfectly honest.
I'm just
I've
trying
never
to.
spent time exploring abandoned mental hospitals in reality, so I don't really have a gauge of distance for this place.
All right.
Although I should do
So
that.
probably not. I would like
Nah.
just kind of stick the shield around the corner, like tap on it lightly,
Okay.
like enough that she could see the shield, and sort of peek around the corner.
I'm going to roll Tala's perception. She rolled it too.
Nice. All right, you
Nice.
go forward then.
Yeah, you do that and you give it a tap. It. She's just sort of like you see, like you can sort of hear like the slight hum of magic going off from her. You begin to like she doesn't seem to notice. She seems to be preoccupied, being injured and such. So you begin approaching, and Jack is like just behind you, it's like 5 feet or so away. His eyes are like constantly darting between all the doors that you're passing. It doesn't take. You're a pretty obvious force stepping down the hallway.
Yeah.
So at that, she does notice you. And she moves to say something, and then she catches herself. And then she just puts a finger over her lips, like a shh, like thing. But then she gestures you to come closer.
Okay. I would just continue moving forward quietly, like straight up Shaggy from Scooby Doo, like tiptoeing.
It's like Scoob. Anyways, so you eventually get to Tala, and then she gestures for you to lean down, and so she can whisper to you. There is a creature beyond this door. And she points to the door next to her. It does not chase me, but it does not like sound.
I nod.
Which
Is the door?
the door's closed, luckily.
Is it barred?
No, it looks like just a normal wooden door. I'll be able to lock on it and such, but like, no, nothing to like. It's not barred, grated, or riveted or
Oh,
anything.
so it is. It is locked though.
It has a lock. You from Tala's description, you don't think it's locked if she just came through it.
Okay. I would point to her, but like point one more in the way of the other one.
I believe there's another creature, but I do not know where it is.
Okay, yeah, I just kind of like gesture like around,
She nods.
letting her know it's. Have you seen anyone else here?
She shakes her head. I have not. I awoke down that way. And she points down the hallway. Around the corner. Some sort of glass but barred room. Meant for watching. I began looking around, and then I found the creature.
Are you infected?
She bites her lip, and then she just holds up the broken mantle that she has.
Crap.
It did not hold back its strength.
Crap.
It can talk. It tried to hush me. Told me to be quiet. what struck me.
And I just kind of give her a once over. Does she look like she has any marks of infection on her?
As of right now, no. She doesn't have anything visible. It does take like an
How?
hour for stuff to get infected,
Yeah.
though.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was gonna ask her like, how long ago was that?
30 minutes.
Okay. Do you have all your equipment?
Yes, I do. I still have some the cures as well.
Okay. Keep them ready.
She nods.
And where are the stairs to us?
There are stairs leading further down at the stairs that you came down. So it just sort of
Gotcha.
winds down in that, well, not winds, but plateaus down.
They're pretty far distance away, right?
The stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Not terribly far from where you are. Again,
Like
like probably like 200 or 100.
100-ish feet. 200. Okay.
Like
So
150.
we're near the end of the hallway then?
No, there's still more hallway going down.
Okay.
It's a very large space, this is.
Alright.
I don't recommend fighting it. Not in our. And he looks at the mantle, her broken mantle, his mantle, or, well, your mantle that you gave him. Not in our state.
Perhaps. Alright. Guess so. I'll give her my healing potion.
I will say that she, as of right now, has 10 out of 19.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, does she have lay on hands available?
Yeah, no, that's that. She's used to be fully transparent. I did rolls for like what stuff happened, NPCs, what they're doing and such. She actually got decked by a natural 20, so she had 2 out of 19 health left, and she spent 8 of her 10 lay on hands to get back to 10. So she has 2
Okay.
points of lay on hands left that she's sort of saving in case someone goes down.
Yeah, no, smart. Alright, I give her one of my potions, and then also hit her with a rally.
7. Good thing too. Your temp HP actually saved her from that nat 20.
Oh yeah, she did have those, didn't she?
She did have temp HP, yeah.
Okay. And she said she knows no one else. She didn't hear anyone else on the hallway. But that would make sense if they're being quiet because noise sensitive creatures.
Yeah.
What way does that door open?
It seems to open going inward. So you open it and you push.
Hmm. And it's just a wooden door?
Just a plain one door. You can hear it sort of stepping around inside that room, whatever it is.
Okay. Alright. Let us leave this one for now. And go check the other side.
She nods.
And Tyler, it's good to see you again.
It is good to see you too. I wish to be rid of this place.
Soon enough. But
She
we
nods.
have friends to find and make sure they are alive.
This is true.
30 of 16 accounted for.
3. Let's go try to find 4 then.
Agreed, Janik. So, why don't we search the rest of the hallway?
You quietly begin perusing around. It seems like this is something of, as you begin looking from room to room, delicately and quietly, this is something of like a recreational floor, or like a rehabilitation floor. One
Okay,
that,
gotcha.
yeah. So it's a bit more
Just making
casual.
doors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even some fun, game stuff here and there. And you go to the place that Talo woke up at, and it actually just straight up is like, it's in that sort of the little bridge of the A, that little area there. It's an actual like observation deck, albeit barred and shit, so that people don't just jump out the window. But yeah, and you can sort of see the rest of the cradle from where you are right now. It over,
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So if let me move you back, you back. Yeah, so if you look at where the cradle, the abomination shape I drew for it,
Mm-hmm.
you would be at something of like this top right area, with the observation
Okay.
deck looking out from like in this direction. So you see a central courtyard and like pathway that sort of snakes through. It doesn't snake; it just goes through. Doesn't wind or anything. That just sort of cuts through the cradle itself. You see other multi-story buildings here, here, and here. The other three wards, you assume, and some other locations as well.
Hmm. Okay. All right, and there's no like offices here.
No, this place is pretty fully dedicated. You
Gotcha.
could you look down now from this, so you can sort of see. So you're on the 5th floor before. You're now on the 4th.
Oh, we got the big one.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. Let's check down the other hallway, but we will not engage if we do not have to.
Tyler nods. Jan gives a thumbs up. You begin looking down the other side of the A, essentially. Again, similar rooms of recreational space. Even like something of like a studio for like painting, weirdly enough. Stuff like that. And then as you begin approaching over towards where the the last noise source is, like the rumble and slow gait of footsteps of a heavy creature, you hear muttering coming from the other
Yeah.
side of it.
Throw up a hand, look to Tala, and just point to my ear, like motioning, like, "Do you hear that?
She nods.
Is is that the creature?"
She shrugs. And then you guys sort of begin hearing. First off, it doesn't match any voice that you know. So that's one of the biggest, like, yeah. But just sort of the things it says makes it a bit more obvious, I guess. And just the way it speaks is also unnatural. Sort of has this like visceral, guttural tone to it. I can't imitate that for a coherent and comprehensible conversation, so I won't. But
Yeah, no, I got it.
yeah, it's like my undead voice. I could do it, but you guys won't understand. But anyway, so it's just sort of muttering. I'm not crazy. And any day now, they're gonna see it, they're gonna realize it, and I'm out here. I can't be crazy. That's impossible. It's just a mix-up, just a mistake, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll just let them do what they gotta do, and then we're out of here. Yep, just real quick and simple. Any day now. Any day. Jack just shakes his head slowly at hearing this thing.
I'm like, no,
Yeah,
no.
like, no. We're like, no. He just does like two finger like point like down the hallway back towards the staircase like.
Is there any hole to look in?
There's not. That being said, like
Or like a gap under the floor?
there's a gap under the floor. It might be a bit awkward, but you lean down on to sort of start to peek underneath it. It's not like an inch tall gap or anything, unfortunately. But I just think as this creature being lumbering up around, you see from the sort of bottom cross section of sorts, the bottom profile that you can see from the bottom of the door. It's just a creature with normal humanoid like feet and such, except that it's very big, as well as, you know, infected, clearly infected in terms of covering ichor and such. And just sort of trailing behind it has like these sort of like sort of fleshy, sort of spiny little tendrils of sorts that just sort of fall behind it, just sort of trailing. It's like you ever seen StarCraft 2, like Sarah Kerrigan, the evil, yeah, like her hair, that weird ass looking fucking spine hair, yeah, it's sort of like that. Where it's like it's sort of spiny but sort of fleshy still. It makes no sense.
Man, that's a rough decision. And to the best of Marshall's knowledge, he knows if he stabs an infected thing in the back, it'll revert with the Curatar.
It should, yeah. Assuming you go, like, you successfully crunch into its, like, nervous system for it to distribute out.
This dude was crazy in the first place.
Well, he's not crazy. According to him, he's not crazy.
That's true. Did any of the paperwork mention that this was one of the guys that Aiden was going to be picking up?
This was... Okay. This is not one of the guys that Aiden was picking up. The people that he was... Like, the staff would designate people for him to take, not necessarily he goes around and looks at the people and is like, I want him.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
That being said, roll me... I'm gonna roll for Janik as well, because he was also looking at the papers. But roll me, I guess just memory, isn't it? So...
History?
I guess?
I mean, it's all -1.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's like, just intelligence, I guess, would probably just work. It'd be the same thing either way. Ooh. The DC's not terribly low, it's not terribly high either. It is 14 is what Janik has, 13 plus 1. So, you know, you two were sort of paging through all the correspondence between the doctors and their assorted subordinate staff directly under each respective doctors or teams, as it were. And the descriptions for a lot of these patients are incredibly... They all share the same thing of them being just sort of lost in their own reality. But also being, like, the nature of them is incredibly weird, and then sort of the causal effects are also pretty weird. You do recall that there was a patient who repeatedly told doctors that he was not crazy. But doctors deduced through the patient's behavior when he believed he was alone that he sees hallucinations, he hears voices in his head, and they've confirmed that this is not some sort of curse they've done to him, that he's actually just plain crazy. But when he's with doctors or in public sight, he tries to act and play off as if he's normal. But then the doctors have figured out that he's lying. Which is another reason to keep him in here.
All right, so there's a room to his right or left.
Yeah.
First off, is this the center doorway, or is it offset to the right as mine was?
This would be a center.
All right. All right. I have a plan. Jedek, you got my back. Tala, I need you to go into the door to the right and knock on the wall and say hello. When you distract him, I'm going to rush in and stab him with the cure.
Why are we trying to cure it? Does he hold information?
It might. But would you want to be left here like this?
No, I would not.
He might be able to, or he might not. But we at least give him the chance.
Very well. And she begins going to the room to the right of this doorway. She opens it up, peeks into it, confirms it's empty.
So Marshall just gets ready at the door, like preps the curator. I don't know exactly what that process is.
It's just straight up as loading a vial into it. That's all.
Okay.
Janek swaps arrows to this sort of very dull gray looking one. Paralysis arrow. Right behind you. Let's hope these things aren't tough bastards.
We just need to get the cure into its spine.
I hope it has an easily identifiable spine. And Tala, goes. Hello? The creature inside stops. Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. What is... You can hear him move over to that wall. Are you on the other side of us? Yes, I am. Do you have a way out? You can tell that Tala didn't think this far ahead in terms of the lie.
And I spring my ambush.
You bust in. I will roll this creature's... Basically just roll initiative. We're not actually doing combat, but this is a matter of do you get to it before it could react. And then we'll just see.
Ugh.
Oof. Roll 20? Hello? I hit the button. It did get a 15. It did get a 15. I'm wondering, does Tala have inspiration? I feel like she does. She does! Reroll! Hurry, this is a critical moment. Ooh! By one! By one! Damn. Close. So yeah, you bust into the room. And then Jack is just readying to loose an arrow. But he's trying to see if you're... He doesn't want to use the arrow if he doesn't have to. So he's letting you operate first. So you rush in. Go on.
Like, what are, like... I think you... Because you said it has, like, a lot of stuff on it, like, covering its back. Like, a lot of, like, hair, I guess.
Yeah, so these creatures are... First off, they're very tall. Mm-hmm. Not like 15 feet tall. We're not pushing that. I'm talking about like maybe like 7 feet, 6.5 feet, something like that. So they're taller than the normal person on average, except for you got damn giants fucking playing this game. Damn.
Yeah,
apparently. And then just sort of, it has like so from neck down, it still has like a albeit elongated and proportionally long arms and such, a normal human body. But from like the head or neck up, the head just sort of is like overgrown, sort of like this like cauliflower, I guess, of ichor and corruption on it. And out of this is where like these little spiny, half spine, half fleshy tendrils just sort of pop out.
Okay.
It's like a real bad haircut. It has a spine.
Do I have a Do I have a clear shot at it?
Other than like some chair, like some lounging chairs, which is what this place apparently is. It's a straight up lounge. There's nothing on your path, so you can get to it pretty easily.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna run and try to stab him in the back.
Roll to hit.
Reckless.
You know, now would probably be the time for it. 20 hits. And you... There's honestly no rolls needed for this because you straight up inject the guy. So you... The guy's like... Huh? Like, he just sort of like is wondering at the sudden outburst of the door. Huh? You can feel... You can hear sort of like the hydraulics of this Kiritar drive the cure into this creature and begins... It's just sort of a groan, not painful.
I'll say as my second action, can I try to use like a grapple to cover his mouth?
There's not very much of a mouth left on up there, unfortunately.
Whatever is making noise.
Well, that's sort of the thing. It doesn't actually make physical noise when it talks. It just sort of ring. I guess it's like a bell, you know.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have a mouth cover. Like that's not cover. Yeah.
All right, the marshal just kind of tries to like pin him to the wall so he can. We are here to help you. I promise.
Pull the Kiritar out. You see, out of your peripherals, Janik is still has his like dull gray arrow knocked and aimed at this guy. But eventually, it's a really weird thing hearing like bones crunching and knowing that this is a healing process. But yeah, you hear just sort of this crackling noise as the humanoid form becomes more of an average human shape and size. The tendrils just sort of sizzle at the base and just sort of pop off, and this growth upon this person's head just sort of begins like cracking, like an egg, and just falling onto the ground.
Alright, yeah, Marshall's like...
It's not a pleasant sight nor scent. It's like popping like a bloated corpse. If this is, yeah, it's not a pleasant.
I'd look to Janik and be like, listen for the other one.
He nods, and then he just perches up, like stacked up on the door. Keep an ear out. You hear Tala do like some light taps. Should I come over?
Yes, we got it.
Okay. Ian's coming over. It's just not like she's terribly far. It's just a few moments pass, and then she's in the same room as you. And the person, the leftovers, as it were, is a guy probably in his mid-30s or so. His head is clean shaven, or I guess like buzz cut, not full shaven. But yeah, sort of like a buzz cut, and he's dressed very plainly. Not prison attire outfit, but it's obvious that he's the mental patient here.
Just give him the whisper sound. Keep your voice down.
He nods. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Are you okay?
He nods. Who are you?
I am Marshall in the Tidies, a military the Marshall, and you are in the shop at Cradle. So are we.
Yeah, I've been here for a few months now.
Longer than you may think. The town has been overgrown with the plague. And pretty much everyone is dead.
Oh God.
But on the bright side, you are free to go.
I'm free. I could leave the cradle and go home.
As long as we can clear our way out of here, you are free. But
Okay.
there are monsters lurking around.
Oh God. What do they look like?
Just do the finger again. Just keep it down. Keep it down.
Sorry.
do not know. She could tell you more, but they can hear very, very well.
She like taps you on your side, and she points at the the remains of the creature he was on the ground. They looked like this. They had that. They had the tendrils. Do you remember your time with? And she points at sort of the egg casing over him. When you were like that. I would take that as a no. Marshall. Seems I don't think it noticed us.
Okay, that is good. Charlie, you said the other one was outside watching you, correct?
She nods.
That one. Do you think it would be safe to say that one is probably one of the employees?
Perhaps. The guy sort of eventually rights himself. So when do we go? When do we get out of here?
Shortly.
Okay.
We do have one monster on this floor, and 3 floors below us.
Yeah, sounds right. We're on the rec floor. He looks around.
What?
Yeah.
What is below us?
Below us, that's the ground. That's the grounds floor. That's where we all slept.
And if there was any other patients here, where would they be?
They'd be on this floor, or the grounds floor. First and second floor aren't meant for us, so we're not allowed to go down there. Anyone that acted up got sent to the lock floor at the top floor.
I'd say he said that was the top one?
Yeah, that's the top one.
Okay. Okay. I say we leave that creature alone for now and proceed down.
If you're ready to try to get to the first and second floor, them's ways is locked. Old Banio's the one that got the key. Him. Well, just him. Yeah.
I think it's a realization to Marshall that that's probably the other monster on the floor. Okay. Are you good in a fight? What?
She shakes his head fervently. No.
Okay. What is your name, friend?
I'm Andreas.
Andreas, good to meet you. Marshall Benedetти is Marshall Tarlet and Zenik.
Yeah. I will type his name in case you need it. It's pretty straightforward.
You got that one right.
Hey.
Alright. If you cannot fight, what I want you to do is stay back and let us know if something is approaching us from the...
I can do that.
Alright. Keep your cool.
But wait.
Because if you lose...
Hey, what before you go fighting monsters, what does the other creature look like? If I could, because Banio's got some stuff on him, stuff that he always has. So if that monster's him, I'd bet what little cash I have left that monster has it too. Yeah, it looks similar to you. Looks similar to me. Yes. No. Banio, he's got little chains filled with little baubles, trinkets, lockets, stuff like that. Old memoirs from previous patients. If you didn't see that, hear those things jingle jangling or something, then That can't be Banio.
But perhaps that is why that one hates the sound so much.
I'm, you know,
Did,
fair point.
did, did any of the other patients really not like Banio?
Not like Banio. Oh yeah, plenty. Lots of them. Lots of them. Anytime we got yard, we got to go. Those of us that could go out, and weren't the free walking people, they could just go out whenever. Well, not outside the cradle, but to the yard and such. But to people like me and some other people who had restricted access, Banio, he demand like the cat, the clause for us to go out in the sunshine or whatever was that we give up one of our objects to him as a safety deposit, something valuable to us. So that way we couldn't leave without losing it. I mean, no one ever really leaves the cradle, but you know.
Today you will, my friend.
This isn't how I wanted to leave.
Agreed. So, new plan. Leave that one alone, and let's go find this Banio.
I mean, if be top floor, I think he had an office on the second floor.
Okay, 2 floors to go then.
I mean, the locked door is on the third floor, so it might be unlocked. That's how he leaves it. It's either locked or unlocked. He only locks it at night and emergencies and such. Or well, and he personally comes unlocks in the morning, and then that's when security people get posted up and stuff like that.
Okay,
So it might be unlocked already. I don't know.
it might be, but we are gaining nothing from staying here.
Right.
Keep your distance. Be careful. And I hand him a dagger. And use this only if
Uh,
you need to.
I'll try my best.
I just give Janek the nod to watch him. Make sure he doesn't try to cut her necks.
Jack gives a slow nod. Squints his eyes at Andreas. So, you guys begin departing the room?
Yes.
Janek will pointedly be in the very back. So as to keep an eye on your ward. Well, warden. Prisoner. Not prisoner, you know what I mean, escapee.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys depart out the room.
And just head back towards the stairs.
Head back to the stairs. Going down. You guys begin descending, and there's far fewer doors here. And it, like, Andreas would have mentioned that this is, people were sort of situated in like a bunk system, so to speak. So, yeah. All kept relatively centralized, rather. You do hear two more sources of sound, but as you're coming down, and as you all begin sort of looking to one another, like, what's the plan? You hear with a similar sort of visceral, guttural undertone as Monster Andreas. You hear something like that ring out from the right path, or again, it's still an A, but from the right way, you hear something shout out, and it's just going, no, please, I don't want that, please, please don't. and then a more somehow like this still has some human inclination and reverberance is the word, I guess. I don't know. Some tone to it. The voice that responds back is 100% gone. There's nothing about this that's human anymore. It's just pure guttural, visceral black. And it's just simply a response. But I need to do this. Just look. Just take a peek. Just look. It'll help fix you. Look. Look at it. And then the voice is just going back to, no, 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 please. Stuff like that. I think we found Banyo. Andreas remarks.
Okay. Is there any doors around?
At the staircase area, no. But like going down that way, yes.
All right. So I'm like, the first hallway door, I would open it to make sure it's clear.
You open it, and it seems to be like a what's it, like it's sort of like an observational room, if that makes sense. So it's like it's like your CQ desk or your QC desk, yeah, sort of like that, but it's like just a room dedicated for it. And then you see inside it a seeker.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my god. Oh.
Hand over mouth.
You see like he's sort of like actually strapped to like a like for his like just a bit past the elbow. He's like fully restrained, strapped, locked to the desk itself.
Okay. Tala, keep watch.
On it.
Andres, be ready to bar the door if we need.
Okay. And he begins looking for stuff to block the door with. Some cabinets, some filing cabinets and such like that.
So yeah, I go over and take a knife out and get ready to cut this dude out.
He's like freaking out.
Calm down, relax. It's almost over, Seeker.
Jack like isn't peeks into the room. Oh, thank God. Virtus, it's me. Do you still have your hand over his mouth, or did you let go?
No, yeah, I just wanted to let him know, like.
Oh, okay, like it was just for that instance. Okay. Janik, nice to see you. What the fuck happened to you? That thing took my will. You see Jack begin knocking out. Not like that. I meant like the physical letter. It took your will? Plucked it right out of my pocket. My chest pocket. Why? I don't know. He gave me this, and he gestures. There's like there's like an inkwell, a pen, and a piece of paper. They're just right there for him to write upon. And he told me to be back. God. How long ago was that? 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't keep track. It's fine.
Keep it together, Virtus. Does he have his necklace on?
He still has his mantle, yeah.
Perfect.
I will type you his name in case you need it.
Nope, didn't get that one right either.
It's okay. That's why I type it.
Does he have all his equipment?
It seems to have been like taken off him, but it's like right there. It's like just like it's like someone coming home from school just drops their fucking shit in the corner. It's like that.
Gotcha. All right, we got 1, maybe 2 monsters right over there. Are you ready to fight?
He nods very shakily. Come on.
You do not need your will anymore, Vertus. You're going to get out of here.
Okay. 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 And then Jack grabs his gear and sort of slaps it on him, just runs the pack straps over him, and then just he's sort of muttering Janek to Virtus. Remember, aim for critical points. If not, aim for center mass. Don't get tagged by it. We're not meant to be targets. We're seekers. We're the support. Let people like him, who know how to tank stuff, tank it. There's no shame in dodging or running away. Just don't abandon your duty.
Your main goal is to make sure that your necklace stays intact. You've lost 2. You cannot lose another.
Necklace? What necklace? Necklace. Andreas remarks. Shh! You don't need to know. Okay. This is valuable equipment right now. This is valuable gear. Keep
Do
it
you
safe.
have your cures?
Like Vertus begins like trying to immediately and quickly cast off his like backpack to look inside, and Jack just stops him and just hold on, and he just sort of looks through the pack for him, stepped him at him. He's got him all here.
Okay. Vertus, take a moment to steady yourself. Get it together. You have no time to second get yourself when we go out. Let's...
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Marsh just mutters in his head, like, to himself. I trust in your training, Dominic. Okay.
No response to that.
Alright. When we engage, I will be the bull. You be the matador.
I don't know what that is. Neither do I.
Okay, just don't get hit. That's all I'm trying to say. Just don't get hit. Pick your shots and don't get hit. I will draw the attention.
Okay, okay. Get it together, rookie. We're right behind you. And then at this point, you hear the not Banio creature, but the other creature begin shouting, screaming hysterically, begging, which I'm not gonna recreate because
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah, but it's fervently begging Banio to stop. To which there's no reply.
This sounds like it is our chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
How big are these hallways?
They're probably 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 approaching 20 feet wide, if I'm being honest. Really,
Okay.
down here they're really wide. Up top it was much more narrow, but it sort of widens out.
So enough room to use a halberd.
Enough room to use a halberd, definitely.
All right. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with to try to keep it at range.
Okay. So it's coming from way at the other end of the corridor. This screaming. So you guys leave this sort of observational room.
I'm just saying, move quickly but quietly.
Quickly but quietly. Roll stealth. As I do the same twice for the seekers.
That is not at advantage. That's just 15.
I will roll mine with advantage just so I have 2 numbers, 1 for each seeker.
Makes sense.
17 and 11, you know.
God dang it, Virtus, get it together.
Virtus is not. He's tripping, dude. He's tripping. And one for Tala. Did I close her sheet? No way. My damn muscle memory made. Fuck. Alright, open.
Dude, jaw feels. Ooh, chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. Alright, Stowe for Tala. Nat 20 for Tala.
Holla at your girl. Ain't trying to get hit again.
The old listo crits. She is 3! She is 3! As opposed to the 0 nat 1s. Oh. And I'll roll 1 for Andreas. Which will be a disadvantage because he's fucking crazy. He's actually crazy. Ooh.
Don't screw us, Andreas.
He got a 2. Oof.
So I totally forgot to mention it, and it's too late now. But I was gonna have him stay in the room.
If you want him to stay in the room, I don't mind. I think he would agree.
I went into the room in the first place.
If you want, that's totally fine. I think it's
okay,
pretty fair to leave the crazy guy alone in the room.
Stay here. We will come and get you.
Okay. I'm gonna bar the door, just in case though. So just do like a knockety knock, you know, when secret code.
Right. Yes. Secret code.
Just do like this.
Okay. Yes, I know that one.
Okay. I think. Okay. Gotcha. So you guys begin.
What weapon does Tala have?
I believe she has. You know, she still has an axe and she has a longsword. Like a great axe. It's just labeled as the borrowed axe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. We should run more equipment checks on the NPCs in the future.
Agreed. Thinking. Because I don't want her to go into melee.
Yeah, it might not be wise.
Alright, yeah, I give her my bow and arrows.
Okay.
Which is the ironwood one.
Ironwood bow. Ironwood arrows. Well, not ironwood arrows, but you know what I mean. So that is the one of I will add ironwood longbow. What's higher? Her strength and dex are the same, so it's entirely irrelevant. I believe it's a D8 plus strength plus dex because Concord. It is piercing damage and it is a double thing for crits. Yeah. 1d8 plus 4 if it hits.
Oh.
Plus 4 to hit. Not bad. Not bad. So, you begin. Well, you and your lot begin. Well, you exit out of the observation room first and begin creeping down the hallway. And then Jerry just holds up a hand. We're being watched. He turns around and aims and attempts to shoot at something that has been following you.
Oh, you little mother.
What is this roll? So it's a +7 to hit. Oh. Well, let's see. You rolled a 14. Let's see. Let me check. Did I close their sheet again? Or is my shit just saying I don't have any more space to display stuff for you? I don't know.
Why are you the way you are?
Why are you the way you are? There you go. Okay, so what was this? A 14 hit. Okay, so luckily.
Oh, thank God.
It hits the sort of armchair rest or armrest of a chair, and luckily doesn't hit Nevi.
Oh,
Oh, God, damn. He knocks another arrow. You adventuring types really need to learn how to communicate.
agreed. But she's the way she is.
I'm sorry.
And I just usher her over here quietly.
She gives you a hug. I'm happy you're okay.
It is good to see you again, young dragon child.
She gives a hug to everyone, like to Tala, to both the Seekers.
Okay.
Are you hurt?
Here's the deal. No, Tala might be. Tala, are you okay?
I've had better days. Okay. And now he begins using one of the syringes on Tala. No. It's far too potent. And she holds up like the potion that you gave her. I will be fine. Okay. I don't like this place.
We will get you out of here soon, I promise. But we need to get the key.
Where's the key?
On whatever that guy is down there.
Another burst of screaming. And like Nevi just flinches.
It's okay, I just pull her close. It is okay. But we have to do it. Has to be done.
Okay.
Have you been hurt? And I check to see if she has her necklace.
She still has her mantle. And she doesn't appear to be hurt.
Are you with me, Nevi? We need you now.
She nods. Very fervently. I just want to get out of here.
Agreed. That is 5. We have 5 of 16 accounted for. That is good. Plus we found another one, but he might be crazy. But we'll worry about that later.
Don't worry about it, adventurer. We'll tell you when we get out of this ward. Okay?
Alright. Whatever is in there, it is going to be tough. So be ready. Keep your distance. Do not let your bracelet break.
She like tucks it underneath as some like external like clothing that she can, but it's not gonna protect it, but yeah, it covers it. She nods.
I will go on first. You follow me.
She nods.
And just pull her in close again. It's good to see you.
She gives like a shuddering sort of exhale, remembering something.
I know. We all saw stuff. I do not know if it was true or not, but here we are.
She shakes her head. No, it's not. When I woke up, one of the monsters was petting me, stroking my hair.
Okay, that is pretty gross.
Is it dead? Nevi shakes her head. Well, we'll come kill it later then. But right now we're sort of on a time clock. And he gestures to Tala.
Agreed. Alright, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alright. Proceed.
Proceed down again with the two Seekers sort of stacking up on doors, listening as you guys are approaching them. And then they do thumbs up, confirming silence, non-presence. Eventually you get to the end of the corridor, and at this point the shouts and screams of the monster patient have just turned to gibbering, crying, sobbing, sort of. It's like, it's just straight up someone broken down at this point.
Yeah. Is there any, like, anything in the hallway, like any gurneys, any chairs or anything?
There are plenty of like similar to the floor above, like lounge or sitting chairs and stuff like that, couches.
Okay.
Not the best quality,
Is it
but
Alright, I would motion to them to make a makeshift barricade and stand on the other side of it.
they can definitely do that. Vertus, grab that couch and bring it over here. And they all like lifting it, not shoving it along the wooden ground, being lifting it, setting things up.
And I'll just ready my halberd in case it comes out.
Luckily, it doesn't. It seems to be taking its time and tormenting its, I guess, still current patient. The Seekers set up the barricade with Tal's assistance next to like a doorway, so that way if something does rush over the barricade, they can duck into the room itself.
Perfect.
They even begin pulling out some chairs, or not chairs, bed frames and mattresses from that specific bunker room, and then just sort of making a full-on really tall barricade that they can actually stand on. It has like something of a wrapper behind it, like digging trenches. Not really. Ready to go.
Okay. Alright, and when they're in position, I'm gonna wait for the thing to start making a loud noise. Or just any noise that'll cover me opening the door.
Yeah, that doesn't take too long. Like after the barricades gets set up, probably like just a couple minutes after, you hear Banio this sort of stage whispering, I suppose. All right, that's for the first treatment. Now again, no, again, the second treatment. And then as he sort of presses again, mentally presses against the other creature, that's when you make your move.
Yeah, just breaking. I got your treatment here.
There's another creature that Andreas was, so that sort of egg with tendrils popping out of it. Banio himself is a different class entirely.
He assumed.
Yeah, he's straight up a different mutation. The first thing to note is that he's sort of held up by like these like spider-like legs. Not to say that there's 8 of them or anything like that.
Gotcha, just large chitinous.
Yeah, large chitinous appendages that just sort of sprout out from his up and out from his neck collarbone. He has a sort of bloated humanoid form, and he has something of like this sash made of letters. And then it's true to Andreas's report. So the sash sort of covers from his like sort of neck area down to his side, dangling from. It's like attached to like a belt, essentially like a chain that goes from one side of his hip to the other side of his hip. This sort of belt chain of baubles, trinkets, lots of different and peculiar items, some of which aren't they're not strictly artificially made, we'll put it like that. Other than that, he seems to have this sort of face or chitinous faceplate of a face, almost like a surgical mask that's just been grown up. And who are you?
Yeah, I would just stab him.
Yeah, are you gonna cure him or are you gonna kill him?
You know what? This dude's kind of a dick.
I mean, according to Andreas, this is definitely a fair report.
Yeah, we're just gonna kill him.
All right. So I do want to ask, because your team is outside because you're the one that kicked in the door. Yeah. So did you want
Yes.
to fight him in this room or out in the hallway? Where the barricade's
So,
at?
is he surprised?
I would say yes.
Okay. Then since I have a 10-foot weapon, I'm going to attack him and then retreat to the hallway.
Yeah, this room isn't terribly large, so you could definitely do that. So, roll to hit.
And how far is he in?
So we'll say like these rooms again. Mental institutions do not have a particularly creative or inspiring architectural style. So this is actually just straight up a square room, and honestly, 30 feet, a 30-foot square is probably pretty fair. Or 15.
Okay, so with my
yeah.
if I got in range of him and then moved to my maximum exit, how much into the hallway would I be?
So this is like a central space doorway, so it's not like off to the side or anything. So he would be in the center. He's in the center of the room, so it'd be 15 feet from doorway to him. But you have a 10-foot range weapon, reach weapon. So it'd take 5 feet of movement just to attack him, and then you could spend the remaining 25 to leave.
Okay, so that would put me at the wall then.
It put you out the doorway back into the corridor.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want to do.
I would draw a square.
Where is Monsieur Hallbeard?
So. Wait, no, not a circle. Not a circle. Not a fuck. No. Nope. There you go. And then the doorway occupies this. Yeah, those both confirmedly hit. Yeah, I think that's pretty freaking fair.
Right. And I want him to make a strength check.
Okay.
Oh, just one of those.
Okay.
I don't know why I doubled that. So just the 3.
He has hit a 17. I'm afraid. I mean, can't you do it twice though? Is the thing if he?
I can, but I'm saving my last die. So yeah, here.
Yeah. So the hallway itself is 20 feet. We said so. We just do it like that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
This is. Wait, what? Why is it? Wait. The corner. There you go. Alright, let me distribute out. We'll make their original colors. This is Red Seeker, this is Yellow Seeker.
Mook's no longer.
Mook's no longer. And Nevi. Right here. Now I don't know how far back you want them to make the barricade.
Yeah, I mean, I would want Tala to be on the other side of the barricade too.
Yeah, so we'll say they're 60 feet out.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Enough that it's not enticing to go after them.
Yeah. So. I'm just making assorted rooms. Is this right? Yeah, that's right. So, and we'll change the color for this. We'll make the barricade this. I don't know what color this is. It's like blue, I guess.
Oh, and oh, why didn't I do that? What an idiot. You know what? Never mind. Save it. There might be another fight.
There might be another fight. Who knows? Alright, so yeah, you run in and it's like watching God, what are they called? The ones in For Honor, the Japanese
Nabushi.
Nabushi, yeah, it's like that. Run in, do some quick strikes, and then rush out.
Daddy.
Yeah.
That's all I know. This.
The invincibility fucking stance makes no sense to me. Yeah, so you rush back out. So I bust out the initiative. Alright, I'm just gonna roll with advantage again for the Seekers because there's two of them.
Hey, okay. I'll take it.
Alright, so we got Virtus.
And reduce some effort on your end.
And Janik. I'm assuming that is Tala. Alright.
Oof, no.
Oof. We'll get him someday, Tala. We'll get him someday. Nevi with 11. Nice. Alright, so Virtus acting first, Jack acting second, and then I will just add a Banio, because I don't have a token for him, because his existence is meant to be for the one shot.
Happens. Sometimes it bees that way, man.
Yeah, sometimes it bees that way. You got a 9. Alright, well, you got a good chunk of them. Yeah, going. Alright, so Virtus is just gonna ready an action for when he sees Banio. That's like straight up. Like, oh,
okay.
Yeah. He has 2 longbow attacks, so he's good. It is your turn.
Where is he at specifically?
Banio will be in here. Yeah, I'll draw. I'll draw a big. I'll draw an orange. There you go. We'll make it red.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. Oof. Nah. Alright, so just putting the halberd in his offhand. Let's chuck a couple of daggers at this dude.
Daggers?
Oh, you know what?
Respectable.
I got the perfect axe throw.
Yo. Let's do it.
That's the first one. I don't know why there's a two-handed option on that. That's not even a two-handed weapon.
Battle axes can be two-handed. They're versatile.
This one's a hand axe.
This is battle axe here, though.
Oh, I rolled the wrong one.
You can reroll it. I don't mind. Medallion diplomacy. That does not hit. Unfortunately. 11 damage. Right.
Right. Alright. A dagger?
Dagger. That does hit. That's 7 damage. Alright. So as you're looking through, you and then the hand axe, some weird elven design. It sort of bounces off one of his 4 chitinous legs. The dagger, on the other hand, finds purchase in his center mass.
You know, just open up the dagger.
Anything else? You got your bonus action still. If you want to do anything.
Nah. I really can't. Nope, yeah, I'll just hold on to my halberd.
Fair enough. Jack will hold his action to do the same thing. Here, the thing is, Nevi, in technicality, Banio doesn't know the rest of you are here. So I'm just I'm just wondering. Okay, so Nevi rolled a 19 for stealth. Or not rolled a 19, she got a 19. You know what I mean. So Nevi's just gonna wait for him to come out, and then she's just gonna spear him in the fucking back.
Seems good.
She has a fucking adversary or assailant weapon for void creatures. She does. So if she gets a crit on that, that's gonna be fucking hilarious. Speaking of the bastard himself, Banio is going to. He has was it 30 feet movement? Yeah. I don't know why I even bothered asking that because that never really changes. So yeah, well, yeah, he could definitely get to you. So as he does.
Aha! When he gets in my range, he activates my trap card, as well as Nevi's.
Let's say he's right here for simplicity's sake.
Because I am a polearm master, so whenever he gets 10 feet from me, I hit him.
Roll it. I'm going to roll with advantage with Nevi. 22. That's atta girl.
Boy.
You're not making these.
sometimes,
Sometimes it'd be like that.
sometimes life goes
Alright,
against you.
I need to confirm some ruling on the the spear because I forgot the dice they're recording. So I remember it has advantage on damage. So she's ruining it two-handed. So GM roll 2d10 because martial spear plus her modifier, which I totally don't know, which is a plus trois, which is 3. So she 11 damage, all right, or 11 damage, and then the assailant trait itself is 2d10 of whatever damage type it is, which just clears through. No resistance for plus another 11.
Nice.
Nice. Good damage, good damage. Little dark steel. And then a salvo of attacks unleashed from the Seekers as well. I forgot about that. I'm just gonna roll I'm just gonna roll 40 20s, and then
Add the bonus.
add 7 to each of them. Oh! There are 2 crits in here.
Nice.
There's 2 20s, a 19, and a 5. So the 5 doesn't fucking matter. But the other 3. Okay, so Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's 5d8 because 2 crits plus 1 successful attack plus 5 times 3 is 15. Jesus. So that's 38 points of damage. Lordy, lordy. That's hilarious.
A well-executed sneak.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, Banyo rushes out the door and is promptly halted by your attack. It doesn't. You hit his bloated mass, but it honestly feels it's like hitting like frozen meat, you know, like not frozen, not frozen through me, but like semi-frozen meat.
Yeah.
So it's like fleshy on the outside, but it's like the sickening crunch as you dig into it, and it doesn't seem to be hurting him. Luckily for the prompt several series of arrows and then a literal stab in the back via spear. It's like Game of Thrones, RP Ned Stark. In the back, Banyo topples and just sort of crumbles. He's still alive. He is still alive. But, you know, under this sudden duress, he's just going to simply flail at the closest target, which is the one stabbing him in the back, which is, I don't think that's surprising. I'll give him disadvantage just because of all the shit that's happened to him, so we'll take the lower of these. 18! Nevi, what's your AC? It's a 15! Is it really only 15? Yeah, she only has a set of the armor. You know, it feels bad. Feels bad, man. So, I'm just gonna roll some damages here. So this is the physical damage plus the necrotic damage. Oof, that's 14 points of damage to Nevi. But she has 11 temp HP, so she only takes 3.
Nice.
So RP temp HP. As he wildly flails one of his kindness tendrils behind him and just sort of slams Nevi against the wall, and I need to roll for her mantle. Alright, what did... She rolled a 19, she's good.
Hi.
Luckily it hits her like sort of like in the stomach area and not where the neck area where the mantle is. So as she like crumbles and like the barbs on this chitinous, it's like a beetle, are start digging into her flesh and begin to like corrupt her. The mantle is still keeping her good. Tala, on the other hand. Alright. I'm opening up her sheet. I don't even know why. I just put this roll in, so. She does not have extra attack because she's only level 2. Forget that at times. 17! Just hits. 9 damage. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alright. Oh, wait. That's right. She... Wait, how many spell slots does she have? She only has 2! I was like, should I drop a smite into this? But I'm like... It's not worth it. You guys still have the rest of the Cradle in the city. It's not worth it. Yeah, so that'll be that. Alright, Virtus. Scared Seeker boy. GM roll 2d20 at 7 each. That's a 20 and a 23. Yeah, I think those hit. So 2d8 plus 6 because 2 successful attacks. 17 damage. Pretty good, pretty good. So in rapid succession, Tala lets loose one of her arrows, which you swear has a trail of sand leaking out from behind it. And Virtus promptly shoots 2 more arrows. All of them finding purchase within the corrupted monster that is supposedly Caretaker Banning. Marshall, it is your turn.
Alright. Time to end this thing. The end of night.
Bust it out, bust it out.
Yeah, we're gonna go reckless too.
I was gonna say I take advantage, so you don't need to make
Ooh-wee!
So yeah, it's not reckless, because I was just gonna say get advantage, as some animalistic guidance grants you strength. But, yeah, so he motherfucking dead. Jesus Christ, this damage. Oh my god.
That's all the damage. You know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot.
Go ahead. Oh my god.
This looks like on my board because I have the rolling dice.
Dude, look at the true damage rolls you got. A 9 and an 11, and then double 11s.
That is so light.
That is sick nasty. That is disgusting.
That's all the dice.
That's all the. Oh my god. Oh my god. You didn't get below a 9 for any of those rolls. Jesus Christ. That is.
Man, I really did. Oh my god, that is. Oof.
Yeah, like the lowest dice you roll out of the D12 is a 9. Jeez. Yo, share that with everyone, and just be like, this is how my one shot went.
My one shot was a one shot.
Was a one shot, and then you trick them and said I died, and then everyone will be so like, oh my god. That's how you really fuck with them.
But I'm a pact of the great old one warlock named Andreas.
Oh my god, that would be so big. Anyways. So, as Banio's form, which is slightly crumpled at the sudden and onslaught ambush you guys initially inflicted against him, Tala and Virtus's arrows find purchase in sort of right where his kindness appendages sort of pop out of his body, and then he sort of buckles even further there, and you take the opportunity and cleave, just bisecting him down from where those arrows connected to him, right diagonally down. It's almost as if you're trailing through his sash of last letters and woes and such like that. Just you feel multiple gods smiling upon you. Myriad is quite proud, as is Krognek. But this
Somewhere
is
in the world's just like, oh my,
oh my, oh my. But behind this strike, you feel the beginnings of something watching over you. Not like Krognek or anything. You're not. You're a accolade based sort of person, which is what sort of draws you to Krognek. You're not particularly religious in that sense. But this doesn't feel like religion. This sort of feels like a community watching over you. You know, it takes a village to raise a child sort of feel. It feels like someone's are just sort of watching over you as you deliver this last strike. And it is something of note to all the other NPCs and such witnessing this that you have a, albeit a bit feral, but at the same time immensely genuine smile upon your face as you're cleaving through this creature. And it crumples and begins like sizzling at the anti-touch of the dark steel.
Yeah, and it just sort of kick the halves apart.
Still some murmuring and sobbing coming from the door, which Nevi just closes the door on. Eventually, the others make their way over to you. I'm gonna clear this so that way no one sees it. That was fantastic.
Just kind of breathing heavily, like, good job, everyone.
Good plan. Gotta say, I don't think I've ever had a plan go off that well without a hitch.
Sometimes it does, but I could not help feel like someone was watching us.
I personally, well, God's hopefully be watching. Verdus is going over to Banyo's body and plucks a letter out from the sash and tucks it back in his chest pocket.
I would take the rest of them. I'd just grab whatever is salvageable from those and find the key.
Like salvageable letters, or like just from like just.
Yeah, seeing if I can find what he has of Andreas's, essentially.
All right. This you got to make an investigation check, because you're not necessarily sure what makes Andreas tick. If that's really ironic.
Yeah, just seeing whatever is salvageable and whatever I can grab. That's not an advantage.
13. Yeah. Either by the corruption growing onto him, just straight up like weather tarnishment, like water and stuff like staining it and such like that, or blood or something like that. Not much of, like, none of these letters that make up the sash are actually legible to the point that you feel like you could read them or deliver them or anything of the sort. And looking through the odds and ends, they're all immensely, not cheap, that's not the right word, but like, they're very much just baubles. They're not gems or rings or anything. Nothing valuable on this guy. But looking through, you do find at the very base of where the chain that wraps around him meets the belt on one end, a very prominent key.
We got what we have came for.
Let's get the hell out of here.
How many cures do we have between all of us?
That's a good question.
I have 2. I think Tala had 3.
Tala has 4.
Tala has 4, that's right.
Tala has 4, you have 1, each of the Seekers have 2.
Okay, and we traded a bracelet for
oh no, you do have 2, yeah, my bad. So Janik only has 1. That's it.
And Nevi has 4.
And Nevi has 4.
Nevi. I'm not sure if that one in there, his mind is too broken to be saved. But should we?
She like bites her lip and looks back at it. I don't think saving them now would be helpful.
Agreed. Go catch up with the rest of them. I will get my axe I threw at them.
She nods. Everyone else is approaching the staircase essentially as you go into the room.
I would go in, get my axe, and just end the creature.
Yeah, it's really weird seeing such like a large monstrosity so feeble. It's a bit disheartening in a certain sense. And you see that the thing that was sort of Banyo was sort of using to force it to break it, as it so to speak, was just a mirror.
Oof, that's rough.
It's just a hand mirror, and you sort of notice as you step into the room that There's shattered plates, mirrors, surgical trays, even. It's just anything that has a reflective surface is just bent, broken, shattered, and the room's windows are just sort of covered over entirely. But yeah, it's...
Guess I want to see. The other one didn't want to hear.
It's very weird.
Did Andreas not want? Anyways.
You, again, it's just bent over fetal and it doesn't take much to just cleave it down in a fell swoop. So, you begin going down or over to the staircase and descending from third to second floor, where you're met in, where you immediately come to this sort of entry area, well, I guess exit area. It'd be an entry area on the other side of the door, and you see the aforementioned double locked doors, very sturdily riveted wood and such like that. You also see a semi-familiar face trying to scramble, as if trying to dig underneath it, as if it was some. In its defense, it's made some progress digging through the wooden flooring. You see that little fucker, and it's just sort of, and then it hears the steps coming down from behind it. And it's just you being flanked by the Seekers, Tala and Ebby and Andreas. It just sort of gets this guttural of realization and startlement.
End of the line, sneak thief.
He's trying to dig even more firmly through the ground to no avail.
I pull out my hanging vine.
You feel like tense, like an arm like flexes. I'm assuming you strangle it.
Is this a infected creature or is this something else?
It is an infested creature, yes.
Okay.
It has the telltale signs of it. You do not.
I attempt to cure it.
We could say that you restrain it with the vine, but you do not kill it.
Yeah, just sort of grab it, pull it up, and then stab it in the back, and then hopefully let go, vine.
It's like Castlevania. It's just like you drag it back and then just catch it, slam its head down onto the ground, not squishing it or crushing it, but just give it a bit of a knock, a hard knock, and then.
As much as I want to kill this one, if anyone is going to know its way around this town, it will be this thing.
It's like arms begin like it's the very tips of its arms, like where the hands are, begins like flaking and breaking off, while the rest of it sort of just retracts back in. And then you are left with a halfling. Hi. Who are you?
Hello, little pickpocket. I am much militated and militated.
I've stolen nothing from you. Nothing at all.
I start pulling out the stolen stuff from him.
Yeah, so like it had multiple sacks held up by multiple sets of arms, all of which were just sort of dropped there, and just begin like opening the stuff up. I found those fair and square, freshly abandoned. I hear lots of scratching. I'm not sure if you're having a disconnect problem or something.
My dang cord came unplugged.
Explains it. I found those fair and square, freshly abandoned.
So you did. And I'll tell you what, there may be a lot more for you to find in the future. A lot of gold in it for you. And your life.
He like, at your first initial statements, he's squinting his eyes like, uh-huh, and then you end with your life. He's like, oh. Okay, then. How can I help?
I need to hire someone to help us find a certain person in the city.
The city...
I believe you are the right man for the job.
You do know the city's gone to shit, right?
I do.
You want me to find someone in this mess?
Ethan Hughes.
Oh, fucking hell. You want to find the nut job?
I do.
God. Why? Also, where are we?
We are in the cradle.
Oh, fucking shit. He just... He's like, trying to, like, strip Franto out.
Just put my hand over his mouth. And you would keep your voice down because there are monsters that love to eat loud things in here.
He gets, like, a thumbs up. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Some little thieving friend.
Not thieving, just opportunistic.
Okay, you are reclaiming.
Yeah. Yeah. Reclaiming. Back what do you have from people that try to reclaim things lose their hands?
Indeed they do.
Well, the good thing we're not where you're from, then. For now. Okay, let's get out of here first, then I can start snooping around. Yeah?
That sounds like a good plan. And I take out some rope and tie it to my waist to his.
What's this then? What's it?
That's why you're getting lost. It's very dangerous out there.
I know this place like the back of my hand. Hands.
That is what I am counting on.
How am I gonna look around when I'm tied to you?
Look, friend. You died already. You were gone to the plague, and we saved you.
Roll me persuasion.
You
With advantage. I'm just really curious to see how this guy's gonna take it. That's it. Okay. Yeah, he's going. Fine. Tie me up then, whatever.
If you would not run off on us, I will let you go.
Scratch my itch and I'll scratch yours. Why do you want to find the nut job?
Because if we do not, this town and all others around it will get infected. And thousands will lose their lives.
Noble swords, aren't you? What am I saying? You're trying to seek us, cause you. He holds up his halfling hand. Fine. Deal.
I take it. What is your name, friend?
Reggie.
Reggie.
Don't make fun of it.
The savior of Davros.
Oh,
don't say
that. Don't say that. Sounds so gross.
It sounds lucrative.
A famous thief is a bad thief. I thought you were only a reclaimer, not a thief. Oh, come on, don't tell me you... Never mind.
Look, Reggie, we need you.
Yeah, fine. Let's get out of the cradle first, yeah? I don't know the cradle. No one should ever fucking come in here.
That is fine. We have 2 floors to go.
Alright, either way.
First we get Andreas.
Luckily, using the key to unlock stuff, you open up the way, and other than some general void or infested creatures, the basic creatures that you saw on your way in, which, like, there's fucking 7 of you, right? You butcher them without cause, or without problem, rather. There's not much. The first floor seems to be a storage area / like sort of like a clerk's area, and then the second floor appears to be much more staff room stuff for like lesser staff, not like doctors or anything. As well as like the bottom tier for the first floor is the bottom tier for the cargo lift.
So just going through that information, probably just like this patient checked in, this patient checked out.
Yeah, so like ledgers and such, like this person with this level of access was allowed to leave So free access left, and came back this time, stuff like that. We sent out this segment of rooms to go out to go eat at the dining hall, stuff like that.
So probably nothing valuable.
Nothing valuable now. You do find amongst in the second floor where the staffing rooms are more confirmations and reports about Aiden Hughes from the lower staff's perspective of him. Unsurprisingly, and this is a remark too by Reggie, that they all consider him as a loon, a nut job. More confirmations that a betting pool was actually going on, and you sort of get a sort of this sort of dichotomic tone for the staff here. Some actually genuinely want to help people, and others believe that their patients are something of a lost cause. And it's the more wiser the staff sort of realizes that the more hopeful are given the more hopeful cases, while the more lost are given the less faithful staff. Some people are actually sort of quote unquote cured, I guess. I don't know, that's the word, rehabilitated rather. Others not so much. This place does some good, but it's not all good. But this just goes to confirm Janik, Verdo's, and Reggie's accounts on it. And Andreas is just not catatonic, but he's just very like lost in thought. As soon as he steps through like those double doors and such, and just sort of is sort of walking around on the second floor, which is so empty, sans creatures you guys kill and such like that. He's just very like lost, like a kid left alone in a grocery store.
You were okay, my friend.
Yeah, no, I'm great. It's just that I mean, we're not out of the cradle yet, but it's just really weird, you know. I haven't been this for in months, and it took a plague to get it to happen, you know. I feel a bit bad.
Sometimes life just cannot predict it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of flinches and looks off to some random point.
Don't worry, my friend. You're almost free.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, by the way. This is crazy. Crazy than the people sent to this place.
Agreed. It seems we've all been sent to this place.
Yeah, but we're not crazy though.
Not yet, at least.
Right. I'm gonna take a peek around the floor. Yes, we're gonna start walking off. That is a very strange man. Talia says she sidles up to you.
Yes, he is most likely crazy.
Oh, I've no doubt of that. But the question is, what sort of crazy? To some people, you and I are crazy for always wanting to fight.
And I think anyone can say people who go into a crowded town are crazy.
This is true. So what sort of crazy is he?
That is a good question. You know what I noticed?
What?
One of the monsters did not want to hear anything. The other did not want to see anything. I wonder if there was a trend.
Was the people here or the monsters?
Well, maybe they brought out the one thing they didn't want. Maybe he just didn't want to be left alone.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
That's
There's no
fun
point.
enough.
There's no point in discussing it now.
Agreed.
Perhaps on our way out of this infested town.
One further to go, yeah?
Indeed. I do not imagine there'll be much on it, though. Oh, and she holds up like the several sacks that Reggie was carrying when he was infested. You have much more of a larger bag than I, so you hold on to these.
That is good. What did he have?
We're gonna end session there.
Okay.
As I.
Oh, you know, there's one thing.
What's up?
Tala, I saw some sand fly from your arrow. Did you notice that?
Sand? No, I did not. And she checks the arrows that you gave her.
Perhaps it was just me. For some reason, I'm seeing sand everywhere.
That is very weird. Let me know if when you see it again.
Just takes a deep look like, maybe I do belong here. Yeah.
Thus we end our one shot. But not before I deliver onto Reggie's former monster form. I guess it's still technically his, but you know what I mean. His loot. He had some. I'll just read it off to you. I'll just read it off to you. So, if I can find it, but I'm blind. Okay, so obviously it has all your equipment, including the cures. Shreds and tatters of assorted fancy robes and formal dress. Not to the point that they're actually valuable, but they do look nice when in this weird collage sense. 5 Seeker dog tags. A sapphire encrusted gold hair comb, worth approximately 500 gold. 3 10-inch tall figurines depicting true gods. One depicting Heartbroken Alicia, which is made of platinum. One which depicts Exalted Lord Octavian, which is cast out of gold. And then one depicting Aegon Forgemere, which is comprised of some high purity steel. So they're worth 700, 500, and 300 respectively. A black pearl ring, black pearl and silver, worth 300. And then several sigil rings of various noble houses, sort of kept together on like a loop, like a little metal loop.
Man, he made out.
Indeed, it's quite a lot.
Oh, alright. Put that in the party item list.
Fair.
Yeah, not gonna be all stingy.
I mean, you do you. Like, you keep it secret from the group for a short time.
Hey, how's it going? I found some items!
I found a lot of items! Found some sick money. Alright, so I'm gonna tell Asonia to hush. Because we done. We done. So yeah, you for the quote unquote epilogue, obviously not the end, but you'll clear through the first floor. Not much of note there, and not much left standing there. It seems that the corruption it's stronger on the bottom floors and weaker on the upper floors. So it sort of grows up. Yeah. So the bottom floor is pretty grown over. And then you'll...
That says something. So,
Indeed. And you will come to... Well, not come to, that's another road. You, yourself, will begin next session at the end of the walkway that leads to the mentally destitute ward. Right as it reaches the courtyard. And then, hopefully, I think, fingers crossed, all of you will be at the courtyard or somewhere near it. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Hopefully not everyone dies. Let's see. I found True Seeker, Paula, and a Nevi.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 5 of 16.
5 of 16. Yeah.
Did anyone die?
No one died as of yet. Funny thing, your team is the largest team.
I kind of figured because it was that big building.
There is a taller building, but not a larger building, if that makes sense. So there's one that actually is physically taller, but just doesn't have the width and such like that. But,
gotcha.
Yeah. So you had the most people. So that's fun. Alright.
Janik, Reggie.
Fucking. You actually added more people to the team! I was so confident you were gonna kill the little bastard, but I guess not.
I was too, and I was like, if anyone knows where everything in this city is,
It'd be the thieving bastard.
it's gonna be this little turd. If there is a Noble District's passageway, this guy
would be.
knows where.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Alright, I turn off the recording.